You know, I was sitting at my desk this morning, just watching the sun come up over the trees, thinking about the heavy silence that hangs over this country lately. Then I saw the news. It wasn't a shout, but it hit like a thunderclap. A new lawsuit is dragging Donald Trump's medical records back into the light, folks. They're asking for the one thing every family in Scranton, in Claymont, in every town across this great nation understands implicitly the truth, just the plain, simple truth. Now, before I get too far into this, I need you to lean in and listen close. If you believe, like I do, that we are in a battle for the very soul of this nation, I need you to hit that subscribe button right now. Join us, become a member of this community. We need your voice, we need your heart, and we need your resolve. We can't do this alone. So here's the deal. This lawsuit isn't just about a piece of paper. It's not just about cholesterol levels or blood pressure. It's about respect when you apply for a job, whether you're driving a truck, teaching a classroom of third graders, or working the line at an auto plant. You have to be honest. You have to show up. You have to prove you're up to the task. But what we're seeing here, what we've been seeing from this president and his administration, is a different set of rules. A set of rules for the powerful and a set of rules for the rest of us. They tell us it's presidential privacy. They tell us it's none of our business. But when you hold the nuclear codes, when you make decisions that send our brave men and women into harm's way, your health, your ability to do the job is everyone's business. It's about trust. My dad used to say, Joey, the greatest sin is the abuse of power, hiding the basic facts of your fitness to lead. That feels a lot like abuse. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, what is going on behind those closed doors? Why is there so much energy spent on keeping you in the dark? It gnaws at you. I know it does. It creates this low-level anxiety in the pit of your stomach. You look at Washington and you don't see a house of the people anymore. You see a fortress. And this lawsuit, it's a crack in the wall. It's someone finally saying enough. It's a reminder that in America, no one, absolutely no one, is above the law or above the truth. But the reaction coming out of the White House, it's not humility, it's not openness. It's the same old deflection, and frankly, you deserve better. You deserve a leader who looks you in the eye and tells it to you straight, good news or bad. Let's look at why this is hitting such a nerve. It's not just about the doctors and the lawyers. It's about the pattern. You see, this lawsuit regarding Donald Trump's medical records is just the tip of the iceberg. It connects to everything else we've been living through. Think about it. How many times have we been told, don't worry about it, or that's fake news, only to find out later that the reality was something else entirely? People are angry, and they have every right to be. When I travel around the country, I talk to folks who are working 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. If they get sick, they have to worry about whether they can afford the doctor if they need a loan. They have to show every scrap of financial history they have. They live transparent lives because they have to, and then they look up at the highest office in the land and they see a wall of fog. It stings. It feels like they're laughing at us. Critics are saying Trump has a history of dodging transparency. And they're not wrong, but it's more than just dodging. It's a disdain for the process. It's this attitude that says, I don't owe you anything. But the president is a servant of the people. That's the job description. And when you refuse to be open about your health, you aren't serving the people. You're serving yourself. I hear the fear in people's voices too. Some of the president's supporters, good people who love this country, they're worried this is just a political hit job. They think it's a trick to hurt him before an election. I get that fear. Politics has gotten ugly, has gotten mean. But ask yourself this: if there's nothing to hide, why the fight? Why the lawyers? Why the secrecy? Transparency clears the air. Sunlight, as they say, is the best disinfectant. If we had a clear view, the fear would vanish, the speculation would stop. We could get back to talking about the things that actually matter to your family, your healthcare costs, your wages, your kids' schools. But instead, we are stuck in this drama, this constant swirling storm of what if, and maybe all because one man refuses to be straight with the American people. And that's the tragedy of it. We are wasting time. We are wasting precious energy fighting for information that should be standard. We are fighting for basic accountability in an era where we should be fighting to cure cancer, fighting to save our climate, fighting to rebuild the middle class. The distraction is the point. The chaos is the strategy. And while they keep us focused on the lawsuit and the records, the real work of the nation isn't getting done. That's what breaks my heart. That's what keeps me up at night. We are better than this. America is better than a country kept in the dark by its own. Leader, you know, there's a word we don't hear enough of these days in Washington: accountability. It's a simple word, but it carries a lot of weight. Growing up, if I broke a neighbor's window playing ball, I couldn't just walk away. I couldn't hire a team of lawyers to argue that the window never existed or that I wasn't the one holding the bat. I had to knock on the door, look Mistress O'Leary in the eye, and make it right. That's how we were raised. That's how you were raised. But right now we are watching a legal team, the president's legal team, work to prevent that knock on the door. They're fighting this lawsuit tooth and nail, and you have to ask yourself, who are they fighting against? They aren't just fighting the plaintiffs or the folks filing the papers. They are fighting against you. They are arguing that you, the American voter, don't have the right to know the full picture. This goes beyond just a medical chart. It's a symptom of a sickness in our politics. We've got a White House that treats information like it's their private property, not the public trust. And it spreads. It creates this culture where everyone is looking over their shoulder, where conspiracy theories grow because the truth is hidden behind a curtain. When leadership operates in the shadows, it makes the whole country feel a little less safe, a little less steady. There's a lot of hope out there, though. I see it. People are hoping this case sets a new standard. They hope it draws a line in the sand that says, if you want to lead us, you have to level with us. That's not a big ask. It's the bare minimum. But the resistance to it tells you everything you need to know about the current administration. They view transparency as a weakness. I view it as strength. A strong leader doesn't hide. A strong leader stands up and says, here I am, warts and all. Because when you are honest about your vulnerabilities, you build a bond with the people. You show them you're human. And folks, we need a human being in the Oval Office, not a mystery wrapped in a lawsuit. We need someone who understands that their health, their choices, and their actions impact your Sunday dinner table. We deserve a presidency that opens the doors and lets the light in, not one that slams them shut the moment a question is asked. Now, this whole thing is sitting in the hands of the courts. The judicial authorities have to weigh in. Think about how strange that is for a second. We have reached a point in this country where we need a judge to tell the President of the United States that he should be honest with the people who hired him. It shouldn't take a court order to get the truth. It shouldn't take a subpoena to get basic facts. I look at this and I just shake my head. It's exhausting, isn't it? I know you're tired of the drama. Every day, it's a new battle, a new headline, a new reason to be outraged. It wears you down. And that's the danger when you get tired. You stop paying attention. You tune out. You think, well, that's just how politics is. But I'm here to tell you, no, it's not. It doesn't have to be this way. This isn't normal. It's not normal to have a leader who fights transparency with the ferocity of a tiger. It's not normal to have the people's house turned into a fortress of secrets. We are seeing a clash here between the past and the future. The president is clinging to an old way of doing business, the way of the boss, the way of the guy who says what I say goes, but the future belongs to openness. The future belongs to leaders who understand they are temporary stewards of a great nation. The surprise for many people isn't that the records are an issue. It's that we are still having this conversation. After all the years, after all the promises to drain the swamp, the water is murkier than ever. The swamp didn't get drained. It just got deeper and darker. And now the courts are being asked to dredge it. We need to remember that the law is there to protect us, the people. It's there to ensure that no one gets to play by a different set of rules just because they have a fancy title or a big bank account. This lawsuit is a test. It's a test of our system. Can it still hold the powerful to account? Can it still deliver the truth to the people? I believe it can, but it shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be a fight. It should be a given. And until we have leadership that understands that, we're going to keep seeing headlines like this, and we're going to keep feeling that ache in our chest that says something just isn't right. Look, folks, let's get down to brass tacks. Why does this matter to you? Why should you care about a lawsuit over medical records when you've got bills to pay and groceries to buy? It matters because character is on the ballot every single day. It matters because the way a president handles his own business is the way he handles the nation's business. If you can't trust the leader to be straight about his cholesterol, how can you trust him to be straight about the economy? How can you trust him when he tells you your health care is safe or that your pension is secure? Trust isn't something you can slice up. You either have it or you don't. And right now, the well of trust is running dry. We're seeing a pattern here that should worry every American Democrat or Republican. It's a pattern of putting self-interest above the public interest. This lawsuit is just highlighting what we already feel in our gut. We are being shut out. We are being treated like we can't handle the truth. But I know the American people. I know you. You are strong. You are resilient. You can handle anything as long as you're told the truth. My dad used to tell me, Joey, a man's word is his bond. In Scranton, you didn't need a contract for everything. You needed a handshake and a look in the eye. But in this administration, we've got lawyers instead of handshakes. We've got redactions instead of reality. It creates a distance between the White House and your house. It makes you feel like the government is something happening to you, not for you. And that's the real cost of all this secrecy. It breeds cynicism. It makes young people look at politics and say, why bother? They're all hiding something. It breaks my heart to hear that. We need to restore faith. We need to show the next generation the public service is an honor, not a game of hide and seek. This fight for the records isn't just about the past. It's about proving that integrity still matters. It's about insisting that the person sitting behind the resolute desk respects you enough to tell you the whole story. There is a heaviness to all of this, isn't there? You turn on the TV and it's just noise, arguing, denying, deflecting. This lawsuit is just another log on the fire division that has been burning for too long. But imagine just for a second a different kind of leadership. Imagine a White House where the doors are thrown open. Imagine a president who releases their records, not because a judge forced them to, but because they believe you have a right to know. That shouldn't be a fantasy. That used to be the standard. We are drifting away from the norms held this republic together, and it's a slippery slope. First, it's tax returns, then it's medical records, then it's visitor logs. Before you know it, the government is a black box, and we're all just standing outside guessing at what's happening inside. Critics are right to be angry. They see a double standard. If you or I tried to hide critical information from our employers, we'd be out on the street, but here we have the most important job in the world, and the standards seem lower than they are for a substitute teacher. That's not fair, and Americans hate unfairness. It goes against our DNA. We believe in a fair shot and a level playing field. This isn't about being mean-spirited. I don't wish ill health on anyone. I pray for the president's health, just as I pray for the health of this nation. But we cannot heal what we cannot see. We cannot fix problems if we refuse to acknowledge they exist. This administration's refusal to be transparent is a symptom of a deeper arrogance. It's an attitude that says the rules don't apply to them. But here is the good news. The power is still in your hands. The courts are doing their job, but you have the final say. You get to decide what kind of leadership you accept. You get to decide if you want a president who hides in the shadows or one who stands in the light. We are better than this secrecy. We are a nation of brave people, and brave people don't hide from the truth. We face it, we deal with it, and we move forward together. You know, my dad used to have this expression. He'd say, "Joey, don't tell me what you value. Show me your budget and I'll tell you what you value." The same goes for time and energy. Look at where this administration is spending its time. Look at where they are spending their energy. They aren't spending it on fixing the potholes on your street or lowering the price of your prescription drugs. They are spending it in a courtroom fighting to keep a file sealed. They are spending it trying to keep you from seeing the truth. And that tells you everything you need to know about what they value. They value their own protection over your peace of mind. It's a hard thing to say, but it's the honest truth. When you look at this lawsuit, don't just see a legal battle, see it for what it really is, a barrier. They are building a wall, not on the border, but around the truth. And every brick in that wall is a secret they don't want you to know. It makes people wonder, doesn't it? I hear it from folks all the time. They ask, "Joe, if everything is fine, why the panic? Why the frantic effort to shut it down?" And I don't have a good answer for them because there isn't one. In a democracy, panic is usually a sign that someone got caught forgetting who they worked for. They forgot that they work for you. This constant state of deflection, it wears on the soul of the nation. It creates this background noise of suspicion. You can't turn on the news without wondering what's real and what's smoke and mirrors. And that's dangerous because when we stop believing in the facts, we stop being able to solve problems together. We start seeing each other as enemies instead of neighbors. This lawsuit is a flashpoint. It's reigniting a debate that should have been settled years ago. We shouldn't be debating whether a president needs to be transparent. That should be a given. It's like debating whether the sun rises in the east, but here we are fighting for the basics, and it makes you angry. It should make you angry because you follow the rules. You pay your taxes. You fill out your forms. You do your part, and all you're asking, all any of us are asking, is for the leader of the free world to do the same. Is that too much to ask? I think it's the very least we should expect. Let's talk about strength for a minute, real strength. There's a misconception in this town, and frankly, in this White House, that strength means never admitting a weakness. They think strength means stonewalling. They think if they admit to a health issue or a financial stumble or a mistake, that it makes them look weak. But let me tell you something I've learned over a lifetime. Admitting the truth is the bravest thing you can do. I've had my share of knocks. I've faced loss. I've faced health scares. We all have. It's part of being human. And when you share that, when you are open about it, people don't look down on you. They look at you and say, I get it. I've been there too. It creates a connection. It builds empathy. But what we are seeing from President Trump is a total rejection of that humanity. By fighting this lawsuit, by hiding these records, he's trying to project an image of being invincible. But we all know no one is invincible. We are all flesh and blood, and pretending otherwise isn't strength, it's insecurity, it's fear. It's the fear that if you saw the full picture, you might make a different choice, and that is not how a confident leader acts. A confident leader trusts the people with the truth. This legal battle is dragging on, and it's costing us. It's sucking the air out of the room. Think about the resources being poured into this defense. Think about the hours the courts are spending on this. That is time and money that belongs to the American people. And for what? To save face, to keep up an appearance? It's frustrating. I know many of you are surprised that this is even a topic. Again, you thought we moved past this. But history has a way of repeating itself until we learn the lesson. And the lesson here is that we cannot let our standards slide. We cannot get comfortable with secrecy. The moment we accept that the president is above the need for transparency, we lose a piece of our democracy. We are standing at a crossroads. We can continue down this path of shadows and lawyers and sealed envelopes, or we can choose a different way. We can demand a government that operates in the daylight. This lawsuit is a wake-up call. It's a reminder that the fight for accountability never really ends. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep asking the hard questions, because if we don't, who will? You know, when I look at my grandkids, I think about what kind of example we're setting for them. We tell them to own up to their mistakes. We tell them that honesty is the best policy. But then they turn on the TV and see the most powerful man in the world doing the exact opposite. They see a president who treats the truth like it's an enemy combatant. They see a system where if you have enough money and enough lawyers, you can bury the facts deep underground. That's a dangerous lesson to teach the next generation. We are risking a future where our kids grow up thinking that dodging accountability is just smart business. We are risking a world where cynicism replaces hope. And I refuse to accept that. I refuse to believe that this is the best we can do. This lawsuit regarding the president's medical records creates a fork in the road. Down one path lies more of the same, more secrets, more suspicion, more division. It's a dark path, it's a lonely path, but there is another way. There is a path where leaders are servants, not kings. A path where the health of the president is treated with the same seriousness as the health of the economy, because we understand they are linked. Critics say this is all political. They say, why now? But I ask, why not? There's never a wrong time to do the right thing. There's never a wrong time to demand the truth. We are fighting for the soul of this nation, and you can't have a soul without honesty. You can't have trust without transparency. I still have hope. I really do. I see it in the eyes of the people I meet. You are tired of the noise, but you haven't given up on the idea of America. You haven't given up on the idea that we can be better. This lawsuit is just one battle in a much larger war for our values. It's a reminder that the institutions of this country, our courts, our press, our voters, are still standing. They are battered. Yes, they are bruised, but they are not broken. And as long as we keep pushing, As long as we keep demanding better, we can turn this ship around. So here we are. We've talked about the lawsuit, the fear, the anger, and the hope. We've talked about what's at stake, not just for Donald Trump, but for all of us. This isn't just about a file in a doctor's office. It's about who we are as a people. Are we a nation that accepts secrecy and shadows, or are we a nation that demands the light? I believe in the American people. I believe that when you are given the facts, you make the right call. But you have to demand those facts. You have to stand up and say, I count. My voice matters and I deserve to know the truth. We cannot afford to be bystanders in our own democracy. We cannot afford to sit this one out. The current administration is betting on you getting tired. They are betting on you looking away. But I know you better than that. I know you're ready to fight for a government that looks you in the eye. We have to finish the job. We have to restore the dignity of the office and the faith of the people. Now I need you to do something for me. I need you to join this fight. If you believe, like I do, that we deserve a transparent, honest leadership, go ahead and hit that like button. It sends a message. And listen, don't just watch. Speak up, leave a comment below, tell me what you think. Do you think the president should release his records? I want to hear from you. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel and become a member. When you join us, you're not just subscribing to a video, you're signing up for a movement. You're saying, I'm ready to help reclaim the soul of this nation. We've got a lot of work to do, folks, but I've never been more optimistic about our future because I know we're going to do it together. May God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.